Welcome back to Summoner. We're in Linnell after that embarrassing little detour where I learned a lot about how to play the game and how I should approach it. While I do understand your complaints, sir, I understand spice trade is an inherently dangerous and complex operation, so you should probably just be thankful that you are not actually on one of the ships that is carrying the spices right now, especially with the war going on. I wouldn't exactly call ourselves a boy, but then again, maybe that's an intentional error. Perhaps the Rennies think that I shouldn't call them Rennies, that's probably a slur. Perhaps the Orrenians think we're a boy and don't know we're an adult. They could have been misinformed. Okay, so there's supposed to be a ship coming with supplies. What is this man doing? Sir? Sir, are you alright? What was that? Is that normal? Was that a glitch? What happened? Okay, so they're waiting for a ship called the Bastion, which presumably has supplies that will help during the war. But it's having trouble getting here because of the war. I still don't understand why that man just ran over and collapsed like that. Was he mad? Is he still mad? Was that intentional? Will that happen again if I leave and come back? Oh hey, green dialogue for green text. Was this before 4chan? Yeah, I could understand that being a little upsetting. And I appreciate your flourish in conversation, but isn't there a war going on? It seems that your warhorse will have to remember his training shortly, and your sword will have plenty of new blood. Alright, so it looks like they're trying to recruit beggars and homeless people into a war. Into this war that's currently ongoing. What's a villain? Villain? I know in olden times villain meant something different, but I'm not sure if it was spelled that way. I agree, they probably should not go around enlisting homeless and begging people into a war, but what are you gonna do? It's not like I can stop them. Yeah, I hear taxes are a problem for people trying to sell things. I wouldn't know personally, but seems like nobody's in a good mood right now. It seems like some of these people are quite unhinged as well. With the way he was speaking about the sewers just now, I have the feeling we're going to be entering the sewers at some point. Sorry, I already spoke to you, sir, or someone that looked exactly like you who said the same thing. It is somewhat difficult to tell. Oh, you probably shouldn't go around saying that in the middle of the town outskirts like this where other people can hear you. I'm just some random person. What if I had connections to the king? Then again, we are uncertain what kind of king rules over Linnell. I'm proud of them. But was that necessary? Did they have to die to catch the fish? Perhaps you should try to catch less dangerous fish in the future? Or is that just boasting? You know, maybe they were lying about giving their lives. These men seem obsessed with their job cleaning the sewers. Oh, someone who has something positive to say, and something positive to say about Orenia. Which is very strange, considering that that Linnell is currently at war with Orenia. But even so, it's nice to see a diversity in opinions. That makes this world far more believable. That not everyone has the same thing to say, or the same views on the situation at hand. Makes it seem more like a world. Yes, they did sack Masad, actually. I was there for that. I killed all of them, but then they respawned. Yeah, there isn't much. I never thought of it that way. There isn't much for you to do to escape right now, is there? You're just sort of waiting for the opposing army to arrive. Especially if you're waiting for goods from a farming village, such as ours, which was destroyed. Oh, hey, yeah, they actually brought that up. I'm kind of surprised. That, the fact that our farming village was destroyed and they now control the Baru River is affecting trade, making it difficult for Linnell to receive goods. Oh, an Aurenian. This is, quite unprecedented. I expected the Aurenians just to be generic bad guys. I did not expect them to have a fully fleshed out society and immigrants with differing opinions. Perhaps I should raise my standards for RPG writing for this game in particular, because it seems like it's intent on not only avoiding disappointing me, but setting the bar a bit higher than normal. I would actually prefer the sun to move slower, but then again, I do not do physical labor, and I fear death. Oh, child, who said that to you? Where are your parents? Who taught you to speak that way? That's incredibly inappropriate. Another person complaining about taxes. I don't know how bad the taxes are in Linnell, so perhaps they have good reason to complain. Alright. That's completely fair. I did approach you out of nowhere and start speaking to you. It's a little strange that I walked up to a child and spoke to them and they started spewing racist slurs, but I want to know what's in this box. I found an icicle rune in your box. I hope you don't mind that I took it. Wow. Wow, okay, sir, you're quite violent for a peddler. I can understand why that Aurenian I talked to a while ago seems so distressed, if that's the general attitude toward all Aurenians. What's a kafug? I feel like my mouth is dirty for saying that, but I want to know what a kafug is. Oh man, I can buy a falchion? Well, why would I want anything else but a falchion? So some sort of... Yeah, it looks like I'm not only a sword guy, I'm a staff and swords guy. That doesn't look as big as I would anticipate a bastard sword to be. Perhaps it's bigger when we actually use it, and it's just scaled down for the item shop menu. Can be wielded like a dagger. I'm primarily interested in speed. Oh, right, I should mind that we don't have a lot of money, in spite of the grinding, mind you. But that is what the sell menu is for. And sell our worn katana. And sell 4 worn katanas. 5. Hopefully that will give us enough to buy the falchion, which I really want, for no particular reason. I just feel more important when I buy my weapons instead of find them off of corpses. I barely noticed a difference between the two, but then again, my eyesight is not the greatest. Descriptions are actually quite helpful. They show all the relevant information, and the flavor text shows even more information that's useful for gameplay purposes. I still want to know what a kafug is. It seems we could sell our longsword for quite a large amount of money, but I'll hold on to that. Who is Drago? Did I read his name right? A grizzled soldier. Everyone speaks like they're in a poem. When I read that IGN review of Summoner years ago, and they said there was so much NPC text and it was... That doesn't sound very sane, Mr. Fisherman. Yes, let's talk to the sensible fisherman who predictably has opposing opinions with the braggart fisherman. Anyway, when I read that IGN review years ago that said the dialogue in Summoner was incredibly, what's the word I'm looking for? What an optimistic woman. The IGN review of Summoner said the dialogue was incredibly good. So, I was expecting it was an exaggeration knowing the kind of RPGs that came out around this time. Not that they were terrible, but this is certainly going above the average in terms of NPC dialogue. What? Yeah, like this right here, this is incredibly unprecedented for what I was expecting going into Summoner. I wasn't expecting genuine racial discussion and conflict. What is a kafug? I'll get out of your way if you tell me what a kafug is. Alright. Oh, wait. Wait. Let's turn back around. I saw some yellow behind these guys. Okay, it looks like we can go into the sewers. I'm gonna take a brief break, and when I come back, we're gonna go in the sewers. I'm gonna look up what a kafug is. Okay, so I'm back, and two things of note. It turns out that villain is what I thought it was. I knew that in olden times villain meant a farmer, and it was later repurposed for the term we use today, as in someone who does evil deeds. I already knew that, but I wasn't sure if that was what they were referring to. It turns out it is. And Villein is just an alternate spelling, so I'm actually quite proud of them for using that dialogue in this game. It means they are well learned. I still don't know what a kafug is. I'm going to assume that kafug is a piece of dialogue unique to Summoner, because searching it returned absolutely no helpful results whatsoever. Plenty of other words that are similar. I just wanted to run through these guys real quick to ensure that running through them the first time wasn't a glitch. I feared that we may have been stuck behind them. I'm glad that wasn't the case. It seems odd that they tell us to turn away, but they allow us to walk right through them. So I was very concerned we triggered a glitch and wouldn't be able to escape, and I'm glad that's not the case. I am curious why specifically they're blocking off the sewers of all things, though I guess if you're going to perform illegal activities, the sewer might be a good place for that. This is an incredibly ornate sewer. I can't say I've seen a sewer quite like this even in a video game. First of all, there's the general lack of water, but this is incredibly ornate. Are you sure this isn't an ancient temple that was later repurposed as a sewer? Is this a golem? What is going on down here? It is a golem. The golems work in the sewers. So there is a King Perrin III, but we don't know if he's the current ruler. So golems are a kind of robot, a kind of machine that need repaired. And there are golems that have gone insane from the lack of repair in these sewers, which I assume is the enemy we will encounter down here. It's nice that we can tell who's friendly and who isn't from a distance, I suppose. Are we psychic? This is not a sewer. I don't know what this is, but it's not a sewer. This is some sort of holy temple or dungeon or this is not what sewers, I mean, even by video game sewer standards, this is not what sewers look like. There's something strange going on here, and I'm going to assume it's plot related, because this is certainly not a normal sewer. I forgot to turn on regeneration again. That is alright. We can do this. His buddy's coming over. Okay, I still think we can do this, and even if we can't, we did save just before this fight. As long as we chain our attacks consistently, I feel we'll be fine. I'm not concerned. We did grind quite a large amount before coming here. So I feel we should be able to take these guys just fine. I was doing so well that one golem didn't even get the chance to attack until just now. They do deal quite a bit of damage. Thankfully, I've gotten so good at the chaining system. Elsewise, we might be dead already. Chain life leech. Yes, that does sound incredibly useful, and I would like... Okay, good. We barely survived. Let's get out of here. Chain life leech does sound incredibly useful, and I would very much like to equip that chain ability. I would also very much like to save, assuming that it will let me. Yeah, it assumes that because we're now far enough away from combat, we can save. And then we'll look into that new skill we got, and we'll turn on regenerate this time. Unlike the fool we were before. I need to remember that I have regenerate. I'm sure that skill will become incredibly instrumental during harder fights. Looking through our list, reading them very carefully to make sure we don't get rid of anything important. When we replace it with chain life leech. Yeah, there we go. There's no reason to have chain push anymore, since chain life leech and chain mind drain do the exact same thing, but they also have effects. Alright, let's take on that second golem now. This time I have much better faith this will turn out well with our new life leech ability. And we can switch over to the mind drain whenever we need more MP. So I have very good feeling about this battle. I must say I'm quite enjoying the combat system. It's a nice balance between turn-based and real-time combat, and it does not use cooldown timers. A lot of action RPGs do use cooldown timers for their combat. This game does not seem to be that way. Not yet, anyway. That went quite well. I feel bad that I killed these deranged creatures, but that went quite well in terms of game play. Cannot be opened from here, so it appears we can't proceed any further into the sewers, which is a shame because I would like to. I really want to know what's going on down here. This is the most interesting thing I've seen in the game so far. These are not normal sewers, and I want to know why there are golems down here, and why it's laid out like some sort of sacred temple. We're going to leave the sewers and then come back to grind against those golems a couple more times because we're very close to leveling up. I generally tend to have low expectations for things like world building in many games, but I'm going to raise my mental bar for Summoner because the NPC dialogue has already surprised me by proving that although the writers of Summoner may have difficulty making the characters sound human, they don't have any difficulty conveying complex ideas and thoughts through dialogue. Such as immigrants dealing with racism during a war, and varying feelings on that race, as well as complications in marketing and trading, and a whole lot of stuff that probably isn't interesting to other people, but I feel goes a long way toward making Summoner's world feel like a real world. So I'm quite pleased with the dialogue so far. When I heard people telling me the story and dialogue was worth it alone, I was expecting honestly that they might be fibbing. But if it keeps up this level of this level of detail, I can honestly say I'm probably going to be interested throughout the experience to see what goes on here. I'm setting my expectations so high that I believe there is a story-related reason for why the sewer is laid out in such an ornate fashion. That's how high I'm setting my expectations, which is incredibly high, frankly, for how I normally approach these games. Normally, I would not assume there's a story-related reason for the sewers being this ornate. But Summoner has earned my trust through its interesting NPC dialogue and its usage of golems and its interesting world building. So I'm going to give Summoner the benefit of the doubt on any story-related occurrences from now on, including that one earlier where we were referred to as a boy. Then again, I don't know exactly how old we are, but we certainly look old. Look at Joseph's face. He's not a boy. Maybe late 20s, late 30s, mid 30s, early 30s. He's certainly not a boy. So we leveled up, as was the intention of coming back down here. But even so, we're going to fight this other golem anyway, because free experience is free experience. I imagine if we wanted to, we could just grind in this sewer for hours and level ourselves up completely. That golem over to our left seems to be clipping through the sewer gate. It's a shame it's not a friendly golem, or we could ask it to unlock the gate for us. It's also a shame that we can't ask the other golem to unlock the gate for us, because he did say he was at our service, which is an odd thing to say considering we're just some farmer that wandered in here off the street. Alright, so I think that's enough for this time around. Next time we're going to find out where exactly we should be going, and hopefully find Iago. I don't know how big this city is, but I am looking forward to very much reading more of the NPC dialogue. So I'll see you guys next time.